Bengal's Sandeshkhali remains tense. Women on the ground have made shocking charges. Violent protests have been reported as well, and a political showdown. Joining me in this special telecast is Governor of Bengal, CV Anand Bose. I appreciate you joining us in this telecast, Governor. You made a visit to Sandeshkhali, which is extremely sensitive area right now, and it was a very emotional interaction that we saw of yours with the women. Some of the women even tied a rakhi on your wrist. What did these women say to you, Governor, when you met them one by one?
I could see desperate women not knowing what to do, whom to contact. It is a frustration all around. What I heard was something which I should never have heard. What I saw was something which I do not like to see again. The honor of women were at stake. Forcible oppression of women. Outraging their modesty. Intimidating them. Not only them, their family, their parents. It was certainly not a happy situation there. There is a fear psychosis all around. When I went there, I could see hundreds and hundreds of my sisters on the road. They were all wailing. They were looking for some support from somewhere. What they wanted was peace and justice. Shanti. That was a recurring word there. They were harassed, not once, but many times. This has been a recurrent action there. There is no law and order there. That was what they felt. And the situation was very gruesome. I was really touched by the emotional fervor which was there. They told me, all that we want is protection for our dignity, our honor. We don't want anything else. We want peace in society. We want harmony, which was there. Of late, we are under the control of the goons and the gangsters. This was a refrain that I heard everywhere.
Sir, also, and these are very shocking, sensational allegations because these women have said this did not happen once or twice, but they were sexually assaulted over a period of time, and they are directly blaming the TMC supporters and workers for this. Now, at a time like this, when the state government or Mamata Banerjee says accused who instigated violence have been arrested, we have sent a state commission women team as well. Interestingly, the NCW team has reiterated what you also have mentioned with the charges that the women are making. Do you think, sir, what the state government action has been till now is enough, or much more needs to be done there in Sandeshkhali?
As governor, I am yet to arrive at my own judgment. This is not a blame game now. Mine was not a fact-finding or a fault-finding exercise, but a fact-finding exercise. I have understood what happened there. As to who are the culprits, I had to make up my mind. I heard a lot of allegations against A, B, and C. I was also told that the state government is responsible for this. But before I, as governor, makes a judgment on that, I have to take into account the government's version also. I'm waiting for the government's report.
Sir, why did you feel that as a governor, and in a very unprecedented moment, that you decided to cut short your own trip to Kerala? You went to Bengal, to Sandeshkhali, and you met these women on the ground. This is unusual for a state governor. What made you prompt that this is the point you need to go on the ground and meet these women? Why?
It may be unusual, but for me, as a humble former civil servant, that is usual practice with me. I go to ground zero, I talk to the people because I want to know what they feel, what they experience. Then only I can give my own report to my higher-ups. Now, of course, I have to take my own decision. Now, my approach to elected government is, I as governor will support what the government does, not whatever it does. And there is a world of difference in this. That is why I went there. I have made my own inferences from that. Before I make it public as a report or an instruction to government, I have to think more about it and study a little more. The Supreme Court judgments, precedents like this, what are the constitutional provisions, everything. I'm already going through that. I will make up my mind today and inform you in the evening.
All right, that sounds good. And perhaps going on the field, on the ground, is a direct interaction, not from a secondary source for you as well. Governor Bose, at this point, the whole issue surrounds one TMC leader, Sheikh Shahjahan. Did any of these women mention him? Because he's the one absconding. His supporters mobbed the ED officials as well in the month of January. The women have maintained to other reporters on the ground as well that it appeared that they were supporters and workers, not of the TMC only, but also supporters of Sheikh Shahjahan, who were indulging in assault, sexual assault, threatening, grabbing land as well. He's the one absconding. Don't you think the focus by the government and the police should be on him?
4 or 5 names were repeatedly mentioned by the victims to me. This particular name was given as a kingpin of the whole gangsters. But as a governor, I do not want to discuss criminals in this interaction. I will form my opinion, and in my confidential instruction to government, I will mention clearly who, according to me, is responsible and action against whom should be taken.
Sir, when the Trinamool Congress calls you biased, your convoy to Sandeshkhali was halted midway, allegedly by the supporters of the ruling party as well. And, you know, there have been charges at you. There has been a standoff between you and the Chief Minister. What do you say to that when the ruling party says that you're partisan or you're biased? What would you say to such charges?
What the ruling party says is a political statement. What the Chief Minister says to the governor is what matters here in my scheme of things. Let the political party express their views freely. There is no harm about that. May I correct one thing? My convoy was not stopped by anyone. On the way, I could see demonstrators with some slogans asking for certain demands of theirs. Otherwise, there was no attempt at stopping my convoy. Of course, the press and the media who are trailing my convoy, they told me they were stopped. Immediately I said, they are part of my motorcade, so they should not be stopped. Since then, they were not stopped.
One of my final questions, sir, at this point, what we saw and is witnessed in Bengal is disturbing for sure. It's a border state as well for this country. There are a lot of issues because the state is adjacent to Bangladesh as well. There are a lot of concerns. At this point, sir, as the governor of the state, what assurance do you give, and you've actively spoken on this, that to ensure that the people of Bengal feel that they are in safe hands, that they have the support of the leadership at the top? Because many of them say that they have been completely left isolated and ignored, and criminals are taking over in Bengal.
I can't generalize that about Bengal. About Sandeshkhali, I can say, as of now, the criminals have not been dealt with firmly by the government, and there is still time for that. We will move every machinery to ensure that the dignity of the women sisters are protected. And I tell you, there was a symbolic and touching gesture. Many of the women folk came and tied Rakhi on me.
That's true, sir.
I told them, now onwards, I'm not just your governor, I'm your brother. It's a duty of a brother to protect the honor of the sisters, which I will do within the means of the Constitution, law of the land, and whatever means are possible to ensure that my promise does not fall on deaf ears. It's not a promise, it's a commitment. I will stand by them. I will certainly give them justice.
That's a heartwarming statement, and coming from the governor to the women on the ground. But you are the brother, as you say, to these women. What about, and that's my final question, sir, the woman chief minister, who should have been not just at the forefront, should have been meeting these women, assuring them sexual assault charges have been made against TMC ruling parties, leaders and workers. Don't you think that the woman chief minister, sir, should have been more at the forefront and has possibly failed at assuring these women?
I leave it to her what course of action she would like to undertake. I will certainly insist on constitutional proprieties observed there. The rest is her field, her freedom. I do not want to enter into that. I expect action from the government, and action should be there.
Appreciate you joining us. Bengal Governor CV Anand, Bose, who went on the ground in Sandeshkhali, met these women, had a Rakhi tied on his wrist as they were scared, shocked, shocking allegations. The main accused still absconding. Will law and order return and safety return for the women in Bengal? Appreciate you joining us, sir, and speaking to India Today Television.